Okay, so sometimes we have to calculate numeric expressions. We have to evaluate them. And so I have an expression right here, 24 plus 6 times 2/3 minus 4 squared. Okay, that's what it says. So go ahead and stop the video, copy that down, and see if you can evaluate it. All right, well, I'm going to assume that you stopped the video and then started again, and you came up with a value. Now, a lot of times I do this in class, and I'll get like 6, 7 different answers. We're all supposed to get the same answer. And that has to do with what we call the order of operations, okay? So the order of operations, you might remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS. Those are the ones I usually hear about, order of operations. But it says, do parentheses first. Parentheses. This is why I abbreviate everything. Now, our expression doesn't have any parentheses, or sometimes they'll refer to them as grouping symbols. Okay, but we don't have anything like that, so we can skip that one. Then exponents are next. Okay, we do have an exponent. So right here, I have 4 squared. Well, that means 4 times 4, in our case, and that's 16. So I'm going to recopy the problem. Okay, now a lot of times a mistake is made here, and I'll tell you why. People think that the negative is part of the 4, but it's not. The exponent is just on the 4. It's not on a negative 4. If they want it included, they would have to put like plus, oops, they'd have to put plus a negative 4 squared like that. And that's not what they have, okay? So only the 4 is being squared there, all right? Now, parentheses, exponent. Next, we do multiplication and division. Do them at the same time, from left to right. Now, you can say, well, you have division because you've got the 2/3, and then you've got the 6 times that. So kind of I'm looking at all of this together, right? Now, how do I multiply fractions? Well, 6 times 2/3. You can make it 6 over 1. And one way to do it is to multiply across. So that's 6 times 2 over 1 times 3, or 12 over 3. And that simplifies to be 4. Now, some of you might say, well, I don't want to do it that way. I want to cancel the 3 into the 6, and then 2 times 2 is 4. That's fine. I don't know how you want to do it. So then I have 24 plus, now that whole thing I circled is just a 4, minus 16. Okay? And then the last part of the order of operations is add and subtract. You have to do them at the same time, but again, it's left to right. So whichever comes first, that's what we do. So in this case, I have 24 plus 4. That's going to be 28. And then 28 minus 16 is going to be what? 12? All right. And so that's what I got for the answer. If that's what you got, good for you. And this is called the order of operations. So we just spelled out the order of operations. Some people like to write it as PEMDAS. I don't like to put the M and D separate though. I like to put them together because remember you have to do them together left to right. And the same with adding and subtracting, you have to do them together left to right. Now grouping symbols, you could have parentheses. That's what we do for P, but you could also have brackets, or you could have braces, okay? So sometimes you'll see those different grouping symbols. Also, you could have something like, what's the square root of 10 minus 1? Now, there's no grouping symbol there, but see how the 10 minus 1 is all under that square root symbol? That means it's like parentheses there. You've got to do the 10 minus 1 and get the square root of 9, and then that's going to be 3. Okay, so sometimes it'll group like that. Or another example, you might have 17 plus 3 over 15 minus 10. That's kind of a grouping thing. Again, I don't see any parentheses or brackets or braces, but I have a numerator I need to do, 20, and a denominator I need to do. And then I could do the division and get, well, I ran out of room, but 4 would be the answer there. So I just kind of made those problems up, but okay. All right. So we'll see some more examples.